A sea of red, white, and green stretches as far as the eye can see as hundreds of people file along Yonge Street with pictures, flags, and photos in hand, standing in solidarity with the women of Iran.
To please tell them to stand with us.
Tina moved to tears today, standing alongside the hundreds of thousands of protesters here in Toronto and around the globe, pleading for change.
We are here to protest Islamic Republic. For the past 43 years, they've been brutalizing people, they've been trampling human rights, and they're not backing down. We have tried so many different methods. We've tried to talk to them, we've tried to hold peaceful protests. But for the past 40 days, people in Iran have risen up, and they're tired of this regime. They really want change, and they want nothing, less than a regime change, to be able to get their basic freedoms, basic human rights.
International support for nationwide anti-government protests in Iran continue to grow following the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, who died on September 16th while in the custody of the country's morality police.
It's not just Mahsa Amini that we are crying for. It's not just Mahsa Amini that we are here for. It's millions of Iranians. We are talking about millions of victims. It's not just one or two people that we are here for. It's not just one or two minorities. We are all minorities in Iran.
The protests began at Yonge and Steeles Avenue East as droves of protesters stood side by side holding signs, waving flags, and chanting phrases like women, life, freedom.
Women, life, freedom. Zan, zendegi, azadi, and in Kurdish it's jin, jian, azadi. So it just means that, we want freedom for everybody.
The Association of Families of Flight PS752 organized the event. It was on that same flight 2 years ago that 17-year-old Arad Zarai was killed when a plane of over 170 people, including 55 Canadians, was shot down by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, a group that, despite several pleas, the Canadian government has yet to declare as a terrorist entity.
We are here today to supporting the people of Iran. We are standing for the solidarity for the Iranian women, the brave Iranian women. They are on the street. They are fighting for freedom. They are being beaten. They are being whipping. They are being killing in Iran on the president of the jail from the Iran. We are standing here, the people of the Toronto. We are stand to say we are united. What we want is a revolution.
As people walk along the streets and others drove by, two fingers held up symbolizing peace and victory. It's what they hope for, as many are calling on the Canadian government to take action.
They should really start investigating all the officials who have been coming to Canada seeking refuge. They shouldn't be allowed to take the people's money. They shouldn't be allowed to trample their rights and then come here, live in a free world when they're oppressing people, when they're not letting people express themselves.
According to the group Human Rights Activists in Iran, at least 270 people have been killed and nearly 14,000 have been arrested. Analysts say the most recent wave of protests have become the greatest threat to the roles of Shiite clerics, the stifling of women's rights, and state-mandated headscarves. On Friday, the United Nations condemned all incidents that involved death or serious injury to protesters in Iran. The international body reiterated that all unnecessary force must be avoided to protesters. For City News, I'm Rhianne Campbell.